Hello, everyone. We gathered tonight to do a little illumination kind of thing. We've been doing them off and on, and we've been a little delayed in getting one out. So today we decided that we would. So today's topic is self-imposed martyrdom. So I want you just to think about that. There can be lots of meanings, and of course, I'm not talking about, martyrs who kill themselves or, you know, fly, any of
Yeah.
that. But we as humans make choices, right? So, from my perspective, I look at that as, do we keep ourselves from moving forward because we have all these responsibilities, all of these pressures, all of these um, challenges, and we are on this automaton of life. And I'm wondering, are we carrying these burdens and they're not really ours to carry?
Mm.
And if that's true, then are we imposing a martyrdom around our whole being and functioning? And I
Wow.
thought, huh, because how many times we do things because we can't authentically say no. We want to say no, but we don't. Um, or someone will, you want someone else to take a responsibility for something, but no one wants to speak the truth about it, right? So there's authenticity that goes out of the way, and you just kind of, what I would say is pull away from the fight. And I don't mean it to be, you have to be at barbs or fighting, but where's the truth? What is your soul or inner self really telling you that you want to do? What brings you happiness? The thing about humans, and especially men do this too, but especially women, you don't want anyone to see your true self, because you're not good enough.
Mm.
You're not
Interesting.
worthy. I don't look good. They're going to think I'm fat, la,
Mm.
la, la, la. So what we do is we pull in and make ourselves small. Now, men do the same things, but it's in a different way, and I'll let Lenny talk about that.
Mm.
But when we make ourselves small, we're not honoring our soul and our truth and our authenticity. So that's the kind of martyrdom I'm speaking of tonight. And when I say self-imposed, I want you to think about this. I'm a longtime educator. So when I'm doing a lot of planning, with lessons or I'm going to speak, I'll think about the who, what, when, why, and where. And what I want you to do is think about, who am I doing? Just take one action that maybe hasn't brought you peace or happiness or that sense of fulfillment. Who, who, who am I behaving like now? Who is
Mm.
this for? Who am I carrying this for that's not my burden?
Yeah.
What is it? So think about all the whats. What have I given up and said yes to that I really wanted to say no, thank you?
Well,
When did I do that?
well, Linda, number one, happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much.
This is the birthday edition, y'all, for Linda. And she is a ripe old age of what, about 37 now?
Oh, I wish. I wish.
Well, I know you're having a good day, and
Yeah.
I wish you all the best and enjoy the rest of the day. And I know you will. And thanks for making the time on this Wednesday evening, I guess, to do our little elimination series. You bring up a great topic. And when you mentioned this yesterday, I wasn't really sure where you're going with it, but now it makes a little bit more, there's more clarity to it on my end. And you asked me to speak to it from a male perspective, and it just kind of hit me. If a man is worth their salt, um, we want to please others, you know, typically before ourselves. And over time, that can wear a man down, or anybody, but typically a male, because
Mhm.
we're not that outspoken in most cases. Some are, but even if they are, that's usually pretty fake. We just want to get along, make our families happy, wives, ex, whatever, children happy. But what we tend to forget about is ourselves. So we don't say no very often at all.
Mhm.
It actually is a skill you have to learn to be able to say no. And you know what? Like you said, no thanks, I'm good. And I think the older we get, that comes with experience, obviously,
Yeah.
because there's been so many times in the past where I would have saved myself uh, some pain and agony if I just would have said no early on.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Oh,
But
yeah.
since, we're groomed from a young age to just always, um, I guess, provide and take care of others and please others and in personal and business life, that um, we do take it all on. I mean, I've been guilty of that, but then, as of just really recently, I mean, talking, a few years, I've learned to say no when, you know, I've already, it's almost like I've already seen this movie before, and you learn from that mistake. And
Hmm.
no, I'm out this time, bud. But thanks for the offer, and just keep it kosher. It could be something as simple as just, somebody asks for a ride somewhere, and yeah, okay, I'm always that guy, or to go to a family function to represent family or friends. Like, I seems like I would say yes. Well, why is he, other people saying yes? And then, oftentimes you get yourself in a situation, you get caught behind what you were doing before somebody asks you to do something. So it's a real thing. And I like how you term that self-imposed martyrdom. Um, but to your point, it's nothing that we're speaking of violent action, or just really just being able to not take everything on that really you don't have any business handling in the first place.
Exactly. And other people, it's interesting, and I'm parents, friends, whatever, or if you're active in a church, it could even be, whomever, but they
Mm-hmm.
have expectations for you. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing I really want to impress upon people, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, um,
You're good.
is that we walk our souls here to either fulfill karmic lessons, to learn, to gain wisdom, and to evolve. It can't do that if we're doing things that the soul knows isn't what our passion is, or isn't what our
Exactly.
our path, our path,
Mm-hmm.
those kinds of things. And so when I want you to think about the who, what, when, why, where, that's to be answered for each kind of act that you've performed. And I say act, meaning whether it was following through with a challenge, or there's a bake sale coming, or just whatever life. And do that with each activity just as a practice. Just take a day. Okay, how many things did I do today? What brought me joy? Where did I find peace? Did I have fun? You know, and do the who, what, when, why, where on each of those activities. And I think you're going to find it pretty eye-opening. And one of the things it does is it centers your body to then start truly listening internally, because it's the internal work that helps our evolution. If we don't ever look, and it's never fun to look, and Lenny and I did duality one day, that's our shadow self and our light.
Oh yeah.
It's not pretty, not fun. But we get so caught up that we don't sit down and think, I didn't do one thing today that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it that really wasn't mine anyway?
So true. So true. And that also comes down to you don't always say yes to everybody, and within families especially,
Oh,
there's no direct responsibility that you have to always say yes, or to always be that, for lack of a better word, representative. sometimes those people are referred to as, I think, a scapegoat, aren't they? Where
Oh
they're
yeah,
just always throwing
absolutely.
everything's thrown on top of
And
them,
you
and
know our
we
mentors,
just
if
take it. We just take
and
it. Like, wait a
even
second,
in
man.
business, our mentors or our people that we aspire to be can be the worst at it towards us
Hmm,
because they know if you're always going to be available and you're always going to do what I say or act and you don't really feel like it, you're not really being truthful or authentic. You're
it's
just
also true.
being what we call people pleasing. And
That's it.
so many of us get caught up in that. And it really does, it can ruin relationships, it can ruin your own self-worth. And everybody deserves to know that you're loved by the higher powers, whatever you believe in, that, and sometimes it's our family that doesn't treat us the best in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but also in workplaces, just anywhere where, and if you're a person who likes to give and do service, you can find yourself being utilized also in the wrong way. You know, you're carrying the burden of somebody else and it's not for you. So that's where the term, and it's not my term, I just want you to know that, but that's where the term of you know, self-imposed martyrdom comes from. And when I heard it, I thought, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I wish I would have had that epiphany a long time ago and felt comfortable enough to say no. And so, for those of you in relationships, one of the things I want to say is it's really important to talk and communicate because sometimes it's our spouses or our children or whatever who expect us to just do, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And how many times do we really sit them down and say, it's not something I'm comfortable with or I don't enjoy it? How can we find some peace? But that's for you to carry, not me. I'll carry this over here. And those conversations are hard, I know.
Well,
And
it comes back.
especially when they're gone, you don't have anybody to tell that to. You know what I
No,
mean?
you don't. And it comes back to the we mentioned earlier the study the boundaries. That are healthy
Yeah.
boundaries for yourself. That's what it comes down to, and let them know, even through children and spouse or best friend, whatever. No, man, I'm not cool with this.
Yeah,
And
because
you shouldn't be either.
no,
But
they
this other
shouldn't. But
person,
see, they're used to getting their way or they're used to,
oh yeah,
you know, having little fits or whatever, side snares or, whatever they do, then you feel uncomfortable. And it's like, well, okay, I guess so what I'm trying and what Lenny and I want you to do is honor yourself because one of the things that we do know is that if you don't take care of yourself, you don't learn to love yourself, warts and all, and be truthful about the duality that we all have, then you are not being fair to you, and you deserve it.
that's fact.
You
That is a
deserve it.
fact. Yes, you do. We all do. Wow, great topic. I've never heard that term before until yesterday. So that's why I asked you to clarify prior to, really what
Well,
it
I
meant. Now
hadn't,
it makes more sense.
see, I love the way it was, I'm always doing my tarot and that kind of thing. And it came up and I thought, oh my gosh, what a beautiful way to say that. Because no, I'm not doing flogging myself and on penance doing, as a martyr. I'm not, prostrating myself and, killing myself to martyr, but we do. When I heard that, I thought, oh my gosh,
Well,
I
you're
have put
killing
so many
yourself
constraints
softly.
on myself because of what I thought others wanted me to expected of me.
Right. That's
What a way
right.
to live.
Well, and also when people expect the old self to do certain things, but you've evolved and changed, it's even more reason to be able to set those boundaries to say no.
Absolutely.
You don't have to follow their guidelines anymore.
Yeah.
And
And
that
I,
if they don't understand that, that's on them.
not your
You know,
problem.
no.
It's not our problem. And the other thing I want you to know, you're not the same person you were yesterday. You're not the same person you were last week.
Hmm.
You're not. And if you're truly trying to do work, to move out of some of your darkness, you're it's a moment to moment, you're not the same.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
believe
okay.
I believe it's really just the present is what's who
Yeah,
you are. You know, people have said it before, so I don't know about. Well, no, it is, and that's what we should be truly living in. I mean, in my opinion, to be happy. You know, so
and it goes along with the conscious awareness. But
yes.
that's all I had. I don't know.
Well, that's pretty deep on a birthday.
well, with my birthdays
uh,
come wisdom
I love
too.
it. Yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
know, for
no
all the
doubt. A
crap
little
and stuff.
self-reflection on this
And that
Wednesday.
I want you to know it's not fun doing the work. It's not fun,
It's not, but we have to do it, guys.
but we
We have
have
to
to
do
do
it,
it.
and
So we love
you'll be better
you
off for it.
and we want everyone, just if you have questions, ask. If you've got comments, fine. It's just, these things kind of come to me and or come to Lenny and we feel like we need to share because it's all
Agreed.
about creating people that we want to come together and want to know you've got a place that somebody's listening. We're listening.
What it's all about. Well, thank you, Linda,
You're welcome.
and happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Enjoy. See
Bye.
y'all.